And hello everybody, and welcome to this video that I'm making regarding the Glorney Cup that's actually happening in the next few days. I played in this tournament many years ago, actually 4 different times. And I wanted to just maybe show you what actually happened in some of those games from back then, and also a bit of a support to the Welsh juniors that are going to be playing in it as well, because I know it's going to be quite tough. So hopefully this is part one of quite a few videos that I'm going to be doing for it. So the first thing that I guess you're going to be asking is, what actually is the Glorney Cup? Well, it is actually an annual international junior teams championships. It's got a massive history. It used to be called the Glorney Faber, and there used to only be 2 sections. That was what I used to play in, the Glorney, which was actually a 5 under-18 players. Usually there were boys, but not always the case, because in the Faber, or the now called Gilbert Cup, you had 3 under-18 girls playing in it. Yeah, back in my day, you had teams from all across Europe that were playing in it. It's usually Ireland, Scotland, and England and Wales. And then we had like Czech Republic, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, France. Loads of different countries are actually participating in this tournament. Nowadays, though, it's usually England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland that play in it. And then we have an international team of probably players that are based locally that take part. And sometimes, say, England, I think, might have an A and a B team, or the host nation has an A and a B team as well. Since my day, though, they've actually had the 2 extra sections that have come forward. So we've got 6 players under 14 taking part in it, and 6 players under 12 in the Robinson and Stokes Cups, which gives more opportunity for younger players. But I mean, so that's total 12, 15, 20 juniors are actually going to be playing in this. And yeah, it's a really exciting tournament. I'm well aware that it's quite a lot of effort to actually go across, and it's actually going to be taking place in Ireland, which actually is what the Glorney is named after. A gentleman from Ireland came up with it, and he started, I think it was around 1950, around that kind of area, that this tournament first happened. And it's going back to the University of Limerick, and it's taking place on the 27th to the 30th of July in a few days' time. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, I played in it from 1998 all the way through to, well, not all the way through to 1998, 1999, 2000. And then I actually had maybe a little bit of a break. I can't remember why. I assume that I was in sixth form or something like that, and therefore doing lots of exams. And then played again in 2003. I did look back, and I haven't actually got much information from 1998 at all. I think I can find 3 games from it, but there's not really that much data. I do know, though, that I lost to a guy called Frew from Scotland. And then when we went forward to 1999, it was in Belgium. And I actually scored a half point out of 5. I was playing on board 3. And yeah, it was not a great tournament for me at all. It was really hard. I'm going to show you one of those games that I played today in this video. It's actually from the round 2 match. We actually did even win the match. Wales, we actually beat Scotland 3-2 in this matchup. And I unfortunately lost my game. I was the only person in the team to actually lose my game. So didn't feel very good about it. And you're going to see my French defence actually being breached. Which is well, I say it's quite unlikely, although it has happened a few times recently as well. So let's have a look at the game, just to see what's going on, and I'll explain to you what I was feeling during the actual matchup, and why I ended up losing this game. So here we have the game. So I was playing against Frew again, so I'd already lost to him the year before, playing against him again here. And we have the typical Tarish variation of the French defence, that's symbolised by knight d2 here. And I used to always play knight f6. Nowadays, you'll look at my games, you'll see me play 3c5, maybe bishop e7. I've even done knight c6 a lot as well. I've even recently done pawn takes pawn, so I play all different lines nowadays. But back then, I was always playing knight f6. And what was this? 1999. So I was born in 85. So I would have been 14 years old. Or young, I don't know how to describe it. But this is just the main line, and I guess the only thing here that you must do is you must take the pawn before playing f6. If you play f6 a little too early, then there's this variation with knight f4, which is really annoying on your pawn on e6 here. And the point is that if they do it again, which it is actually a variation, but this time because the 2 pawns here have been exchanged, you've actually got knight takes d4 defending the pawn on e6. And there's some crazy stuff with queen h5 check now, but that's for another time. So he didn't do that though. He took, and then knight f3, bishop d6, and then castles. And then here I was a bit surprised with myself because I also castled. I'm well aware here that with our pawns being on light squares in the centre here, our dark square bishop is a really good piece. And so white usually wants to swap it off with a move like bishop to f4. Now castles kingside is one variation. But I do know now that I would probably play queen c7 just to prevent this. And the variation is a little bit different, goes a little bit differently. But in the game I went here, and then I was a bit surprised here because I'm guessing I was probably expecting bishop f4 to exchange off the dark square bishops, and maybe I had some preparation or a plan there. But they actually went bishop g5. And this is kind of like the real crux of this game now, because I go queen c7, and obviously I've got a little bit of pressure down here on h2, but it's nothing that's going to win the game. And it feels almost like he makes a little bit of an error here in playing knight g3. You know, there wasn't actually any threats just straight away, and maybe knight c3 would have been more normal to come into b5, so I would have had to play a6 to prevent that, because I wouldn't want to give my dark square bishop up for a knight. You know, at worst swap it off for his dark square bishop. Because also as well, this bishop here sometimes likes to come back. Suppose, for example, if I attack it with the move pawn to h6, it goes back to h4 and g3, and you know, it exchanges off. And I kind of knew about this position, just this pawn structure. So even back here, or the general pawn structure that we have, White's general plan is that they're basically saying their pawn structure is better than ours, and they're going to really hit down on this e-file against this backward pawn on e6. And they do that by controlling the square in front of it, which is the e5 square. So they've currently got 2 pieces on it. I've currently got 2 pieces on it as well, so that the fight is well underway. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to free my position, for example, especially my light square bishop here. And if I ever get the move e5 in, then I'm usually very, very good. And e5 is usually the move. If you get this in, you are usually, and you don't lose anything immediately, then it's usually very, very good. Especially because I can develop my bishop just basically in one move. Whether it goes all the way or not is depending on the position. It's usually a very good idea. There is a slower plan as well. If you want to do something different, you can go bishop here, bishop back to e8, and then bishop out this way. I've played this before, and I've seen other people play this too. I usually try and go for the quicker way and try and get e5 in. So these next few moves are just really interesting, because now I go knight g4, and you can just see that there's just a few tactics here that are just starting to shape up. I mean, like, we've got a lot of captures on the board, haven't we? I can take here with the rook. I can take here on both pawns on f2 and h2. My bishop can take the knight on g3. It almost feels like there's a tactic brewing. Likewise, he's also got his bishop hitting my pawn on h7 as well, and would bring my king out. And there could be some tactics there. So I thought knight g4 was a nice aggressive move. I'm obviously trying to tempt him to play something like h3, in which case I'd snaffle off this f2 pawn, because then my bishop would be able to take the knight on g3 at the end. And he plays bishop d2, and this is the really annoying thing about this, right? Really, really annoying. That basically it feels like I've pushed him backwards. I've pushed him back, and he's maybe not played the most accurate moves here for those 2 moves, and I kind of realised it. I thought, I'm on top here. I'm just about getting what I want. So I thought, okay, well, now's the time. e5. And do you know what? I remember sitting back in my chair thinking, great, this opening has gone absolutely fantastic for me. I am doing great in this position. This is great for me. And I just completely forget he's got this move, queen b3, and then moving my pawn forward from e6, the d5 pawn is now unguarded. But was what I played wrong? e5, if you can get it in, you should get it in. And it was still the right thing to do. And I remember looking at this position, and then I went from basically a moment of, I'm having a great time here, this is going really well, to, oh. And it was just such a turnaround. And I think I must have sat here for something like 20 minutes just trying to figure out what to do. Because the whole point of e5 is I assumed that when I played it that he had to take it because I'm threatening to go e4, forking his knight and bishop. And so I thought, okay, like he takes, I take back with a knight. He takes this way. I guess I could take back with a knight here rather than the bishop. Maybe that was my plan. I remember exactly. And then this bishop comes out to attack the queen even. I've got a really free-flowing position. There's still obviously work to do. I'm not winning yet. But, this is quite an exciting position now. I've got no problems. My light square bishop is getting out. My rooks are coming into the game. This is a fun position to play. So I didn't think I had any problems here, and I just assumed he had to capture it. And queen b3 just caught me off guard completely. And I was just like, what do I do? Because now I can't go e4, because now he takes the pawn with check, and then he recaptures, and then it's basically threatening checkmate on h7. It's all going wrong. And so I can't do that. So I ended up playing knight takes d4, and it's just the wrong way to play. So you're in this position, it's black to play. If you want to pause the video and try and figure out what I should do here instead, which I found out afterwards, but only after some computer analysis, and computers back then weren't as good as they are now. And even then, I still didn't quite believe it because I wasn't familiar with this idea in this French variation. And the annoying thing is it's actually quite a familiar idea. This idea has been played in different variations of this variation, and in many times before. So what I should have done, I should have gone for it with rook takes knight. And how on earth was I going to find that when I was 14 years old? I mean, I was probably rated about probably around 2000, but back in those days, 2000 rating might be equivalent to 1800, 1900 today. I don't really know exactly. And I saw some of my ratings like the year later was around 2150. And I'm thinking, okay, is that an accurate rating or not? Is that Welsh rating? Is that FIDE rating? I don't know. But rook takes knight is just such a difficult move to play, giving up an exchange. The point being, he can't do queen takes pawn now because the rook can retreat and I'm just a whole piece up. So he doesn't want to do that move. And if he takes here, then I can actually throw in the knight takes d4 with tempo on the queen, and also threatening the pawn on f3. And if he takes here on d5, then we can develop the bishop in one go. Okay, it's still not like the perfect remedy. He goes queen here. He's threatening a lot of checks, shall we say. Our knight is also threatened as well. But I guess here in this position, I'll probably just bring my knight back. And it's just a typical sacrifice that just makes the game really interesting. I'm interested to see here, though. Let's suppose he goes something like queen e3, because his queen needs to connect with the f3 pawn just to make sure he doesn't lose it. Although maybe losing it isn't that bad. And this is just a really fun position to actually play here. I wonder if I can do something like 95 or something like that here. This is it's quite a bit of fun, actually. Let's just see what the computer says here at this point. Because it was, yeah, apparently knight d5. Oh, apparently I've got a draw after this and this. I can just go back because he's actually got nowhere else to go. So I've at least got a draw. Was there anything else for me? I don't think there was. Queen e4 is just... so I've at least got a draw here, but maybe I can do something different to try and win the game. But yeah, this was the moment. Sacking the rook for the knight was obviously a big call. I don't think I really considered it that much. And the problem is that because I didn't have the guts to do it, maybe because I was playing for the team and it was too risky, maybe it was because I was under a lot of pressure, the honour of representing my country as a child. Sometimes that pressure can get to you that you want to play super safe all the time. And sometimes if the sacrifice is on, you've got to go for it. It's usually the best play. I'm not saying go and sacrifice all your pieces just randomly. You have to obviously still calculate and judge the position. But yeah, knight takes was just no good. He swapped off the knight and then came in with the queen. And now the position's just not quite the same. My pieces aren't what we call harmoniously placed. Like I really would have loved to have played bishop e6 to block the check, but I can't. My queen gets under attack, and now he's threatening checkmates on h7. So I come back and just, my pieces are all tied up. The pawn on d4 has gone a little bit too far, so I can't really defend it very well. He's obviously got rook e1 if he wants it. Both bishops are actually really well placed now. When it came back to d2 originally, I thought he was going backwards, and he was. but now it's actually in the right spot, ready to come in, and you just see how difficult it is for me to play. He hits the knight, which is guarding the h7 pawn. It's not obviously winning, but there's a tactic here that he's threatening to do. So by all means, stop the video if you want to have a look at what is white actually threatening to do here to actually win the game. The reason for that is that what he's threatening to do is, first of all, he's going to take the knight. Doesn't win the game instantly, though, because I'll recapture with the pawn, and my queen will actually defend the pawn on h7 from the queen given checkmate. But the point is, then he does rook takes bishop e6, and my queen can't take the rook because it's stuck defending the pawn on h7. So I have to go g6, and it's just all over. He takes here in the end. I think there was a different way for him to do this, actually. I think he could have even done rook takes bishop or something like that. But he did it this way, and actually... here he just forks my rook and bishop, and I have to give my rook up, because giving a whole bishop up is just your whole piece down. But now I'm at least in an exchange down, and trying to create some complications here with my two bishops against rook and knight. But in this position, when the rooks have both got open lines, I've not got enough. So I'm just hoping that my d pawn can do something. But it was just too late there. I mean, here he threatens checkmate, the Arabian mate, with the knight guarding it. I know I'm lost here. I'm just playing on for the sake of not having to resign. Yeah, okay, the rook v bishop endgame, a pawn down, is still just absolutely terrible. So I ended up resigning here. So that was my game. This guy beat me 2 years in a row. I don't think he plays much chess anymore, but I haven't looked into his history. But I found this tournament really tough. In this year, in 1999, I got half out of 5. I know how hard it can be playing in this event, especially when your other teammates are either doing better than you, or suppose, for example, they're also struggling as well. Then you need to band around as a team to try and help each other get as good as you can do. That's the end of part 1. I just want to say a massive good luck to all of the Welsh players that are playing, all the Welsh juniors that have travelled with their parents, probably most of them, and travelled over to Ireland to actually play in this. And we'll be following. Hopefully the games will be live, and we'll get to follow them and see what happens. But yeah, best of luck from me, and I know that many of my other Welsh colleagues that are adults that they're actually played in it before. We do follow the event and hope to see some good chess. And all we ask is that you put your best foot forward and try your best in the tournament, and that's all that you can do. Best of luck, and I'll see if I've got time to put out part 2 to have a look at one of my other games to see what actually happened in that one too. So thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.